RWBY Chibi episode 16. Once again, we've had a pretty funny episode. We got to see quite a few characters. Sun, once again, made an appearance. We actually got to see our first Chibi Grim, which was also pretty cool. But I think the skits were good in this one. I really enjoyed them. Yang's thing I actually enjoyed quite a bit. I liked it more when Sun actually stood up and started being a little messed up to Yang a little bit, but it's her puns. Like, it's her pun. It's Yang, so that's all we can really expect. My favorite was actually the last one. She's like out with the Yang, and then I don't know why there's just a trap door there for no reason, but actually that was probably my favorite part of that one. But I really loved the race. That was really silly. Like there were a couple of really funny things in there. Like it starts off pretty simple. It's like all right, so Yang's on a motorcycle. RWBY apparently thinks Zwei has super speed, and so she's in a little cart with like stickers on it, which was hilarious to me. And then here comes Weiss. Not only was Weiss on a bicycle, but she was on like a tricycle, like a baby's bike, which fits perfectly for the Chibi version, so it makes it even funnier. And they're just talking about her, and one of my favorite parts is when Ruby's trying to make fun of her, and she's like, "You should see how stupid you look," and she's like, "Oh, my stickies," and like I was laughing like crazy on that one. And then they start the race, and of course Yang saying like what and how, that I thought was really funny too. And then of course it's like Stardust away, and they're just frozen in a block of ice. So that I thought was really funny. Like I said, I enjoyed the second skit. I thought that was pretty good too. Excuse me. And then we have our third skit, which was really messed up. I kind of can't wait to watch this one on YouTube because for those of you who might not know, they always put like really funny captions on these episodes. So I'm kind of excited to see this episode on YouTube just to see what they say for the captions. But that was pretty funny, and just Jean talking about how he feels like a secondary character and stuff, and it was simple at first, and then Blake is just sitting there, and it's like, nah, you don't worry about that, son. It's like, I'm Jean. It's like, oh, well, yeah, I was totally kidding. That I thought was really funny because I feel like they've made that joke before, or it was like been really close to making it in one of the most recent episodes, and it was just really funny. It was like, oh, don't worry about it, son. It's like, I'm Jean. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. And then she even asked him like, are you sure you aren't the one with the monkey tail? It's like, abs should have been a huge giveaway. I mean, the guy doesn't even close the one shirt he ever wears. Even in the Chibi version, when they're at the nightclub, he was wearing that junk. But I thought that was really funny. And Ruby, of course, she's dragging in the Chibi Beowulf and stuff, and I thought that was really cool. And then she's just talking about like, oh, there's so much action, all this craziness happening off screen, and Sean's just reading a book for whatever reason called Another Pun, which I thought was pretty cool. And he's mistaken for Sun, which is just so silly. But I did enjoy this episode. That was really good. Um, I think I'm excited to see where they go because I mentioned this before. We're getting closer and closer to our actual volume 4, and I am curious how they're gonna if they're gonna do sort of a season finale sort of thing for the Chibi version. But I'm excited to see what we get. They've been introducing new stuff lately. I mean, we got Sun and Neptune. We finally got to see the first version of a Chibi Grim of any sort. I'd kind of like to see a Chibi Nevermore. I don't know why. I just feel like, I guess because they get so big, I'd like to see a giant one, but in Chibi version. Like, I don't know how that would balance out because of the characters and how they look, and even how some of the stuff look. Like the chairs are all like really weird and shaped. So I kind of want to see a giant Nevermore in Chibi version because I'm just curious how they translate that size because it's way bigger than all of them. Would it just look normal, or how would that play out? But I'd love to see that. Like I said, I enjoyed this one for sure. I think the first one was probably my favorite one, though. I just think it was just really silly how they were going about it, and it's like Ruby saying like, you should see how stupid you look, and they're just laughing. They made the Fast and Furious joke, which I thought was really funny, and she's like, I was gonna be so fast, but now I'm just furious. I was like, that's a nice silly joke. So I really liked the first one. The first one was my favorite. The third was my second favorite. And the middle one was my least favorite of the three, but I still did enjoy it. And like I said, the out with the Yang thing was probably my favorite part of that whole ending. And also another really funny part, and this just happened because when I was watching it, it had to buffer. Excuse me. But the part where Sun was trying to leave, if you pause it as he's talking, Ren's face is so dead in that scene. It was hilarious to me. Like, it just happened to freeze on that because it was buffering. But I was like, man, he looks so pissed off right now. And it's right before he grabs his tail. But if you look at his face, he's just emotionless. Like, this is the worst thing I've ever experienced. And it was so funny to me having just that little freeze frame. And it's like, he's just dead inside. And it was so funny to me. It was like, wow, he's just, there's nothing there. Like, these puns have destroyed him, and it was so funny to me. I was like, man, he's just blank. And then he grabs some by the tail, like, we have to do this, so do you. But I love that one. I thought it was pretty funny. That part was my second favorite part, and that was totally unintentional. But his face is just so blank. It's like, wow, he's a little messed up right now, and that is very funny to me. But enjoyed the episode. Of course, would love to know what you guys thought about it. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. Want to know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts of this one. Like I said, every week we're getting closer and closer. But we have officially gotten Grimm in the Chibi version of the series. Very minor, of course. With the way it started, I thought it was going to be Zwei on Ruby's hood, and it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting a chibi version of a Grimm because of the growling. I just assumed it was going to be Zwei. But I would love to know what Grimm you guys would like to see done in the chibi version of the series, because we have quite a few, and they might even throw in the dragon just because it's because it's a newer thing. But like I said, for whatever reason, I would love to see the Giant Nevermore and how they would translate that, and also the Deathstalker. I mean, the giant ones really is what I want to see, because everyone, comes out looking the same size, but I would love to see one of the giant version of the creatures, because even the Beowulfs, outside of like the really old ones when they grow and get really big, they tend to be about the same size as all the characters. But every time we see Nevermore, except for like, there's like one scene they have, I forgot what volume that was in, where they were like baby Nevermores. I think that was volume 2, when they're in like the deserted city. And they had like the baby Nevermores, and it was like, oh, that's weird. They're tiny. So I'd love to see either a giant Nevermore or a giant Deathstalker, because I just want to see how that translates into the Chibi version and what they make really big. Like, with the Raven or the Nevermore, I guess they could make the head really big like the characters, but that would also look really weird. But maybe that would work because it would be funny, because that's kind of the point of this version of the series, is just to be silly anyway. But for me personally, I don't know. I just kind of really like the Nevermore. It's just kind of my favorite one. I don't know why. Maybe because it was the first one. I'm kind of a sucker for like ravens and crows and stuff like that anyway. So it's a giant version of that. So it also looks kind of cool. But would love to know, like I said, what you guys thought about this episode, and what Grimm you guys would like to see done in the Chibi version of the series. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.